Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joined with the other host,
Karen.
And it's not metal music tonight, but it is music.
It is a live show, yes.
It is a live show, yes. We are going to be talking about Nick Cave and the Bad Seed, part of the Wild God Tour, I believe is the name of it, or Wild God, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Here in Chicago at the Salt Shed. We saw this show April 28th, which was a Monday night. It was a sold-out show, too. And
it was, yes.
At the Salt Shed, as I said. Inside at the Salt Shed, not outside.
It was a beautiful night, though.
It was so beautiful outside. It could have been outside. It would have been great to be outside. I don't know if it's a capacity thing or, again, it's April.
It's April, and you never know what the weather is going to be like in April.
So, yeah. Tickets for this were $79.50 with $20.52 in fees. And then $7.95 in tax. Not too bad, really, for fees at least. Price for the ticket, maybe not.
Yeah, the fees isn't bad, but I understand why the ticket's $80. But
yeah.
I've seen way better shows for way less money.
We'll get into that.
For my personal preference.
Yes, for your personal preference. This particular show, there were, like I said, it was sold out. There were two shows, one on the 28th and then a second show on the 29th, the very next night. I only got tickets for one. I wanted to get tickets for both because for me, Nick Cave, and I always say Nick Caves, it's Nick Cave. So I need to correct myself here.
I probably say Nick Caves as well because you say it.
Yeah. There's two songs of his, and I think, and the Bad Seed, which is probably the band and whatnot. I don't know anything about that. And he probably has like his own solo career aspect. I don't know anything about that. All I know about Nick Cave and the Bad Seed is there's two songs I really, really love. The Red Right Hand, because of Scream. I love that movie, the first one. All the other ones are sort of like, this is stupid. But that first one I really love, and that's in there, and it's like, whenever I hear that, I think of that movie. Even so much so that Ice Nine Kills, this is their opening track going into their set. Which, if you know Ice Nine Kills, they're a horror-themed metal band, basically. Yeah. Or they sort of transitioned into the horror thing.
Like recently, that's what they've been touring on.
Yep.
Or doing music for, I guess.
The second one is Lover Man. I love that song so much. And you asked me if you'd heard that song. Well, before I get there, my thought was I hope they would play both songs, but maybe they wouldn't play them both nights. Red Right Hand probably would get played, but Lover Man probably wouldn't get played. But there's two shows, so maybe it's going to be on the second set or something like that. So I was like, you know what, I'll get a ticket for both shows and check it out. And I sent a note out to a chat group I'm in. It's like the Grateful Dead group chat that I'm in that I got in because of my buddy Jim, who maybe started this group chat and included me in it after I started going to shows with him. But they always reach out about music they're going to or concerts they're going to, which I was like, this would be right up their alley. Possibly it's not metal by any means. It's not rocky, maybe a little bit of rock. I don't know, whatever. But it's not like metal. It's sort of their jam. I could see them enjoying this. And nobody seemed to know what it was except for one guy who's like, I can't remember what the other band was, but nobody commented on mine for a couple days. And then somebody eventually said, I don't know who Nick Caves is, but around that same time, there's this show going on. And another person piped up and they're like, that show sounds awesome. Sounds amazing. Also, Nick Cave is great, but dark, but really good too. So nobody bought in to go to this show with me. So I asked you, like, hey, do you want to go with me? I'll just get one ticket because I would hope he's doing two unique sets. But looking at the dates, he was only going to one city usually, and then Chicago was like a unique city where he played two shows. So I was like, all right, well, it's probably going to be the same set. And I did just look at the set list, and it was the exact same set both nights.
Yeah, okay.
The only thing is the second night, though, wasn't sold out, so that might have been a better show to go to, potentially. We ended up going to a different show. Arch Enemy was that night.
Yeah, we already had a show that night, so.
Well, I don't think that was announced at the time, but...
Oh, so you would have bought both tickets.
Yep.
I see.
So
I wouldn't have wanted to go see this twice.
I didn't think you would. I think you'd go once for sure.
Yeah.
Even going into it, because I was like, she might not like this at all, but whatever. I do. I'll go. I'm going to buy a ticket for me at least. So, but you did go. But back to
I did go. I was there.
You were present.
I was in the venue to hear this music.
But getting back to Lover Man, you asked me, have you heard that song? And I was like, you have definitely heard that song. You have, because I played it for you. It's one of my favorite tracks on Metallica's Garage Inc. Their cover album they did.
Okay.
Loverman, Whiskey in the Jar, Turn the Page, and Astronomy are like my top songs on that entire album. The whole album's fucking great start to finish, but those are the three that I always gravitate towards, or four that I always gravitate towards, especially Whiskey. That's like when they played that live. I can't remember where that was. Was that Madrid they played that live?
Whiskey in the Jar?
Yeah. I think it was Madrid or Detroit a couple years ago.
Yeah, I can't remember which show, but we have heard it in the last couple of years.
Yeah, which I fucking love that song so much.
I feel like it was maybe in Madrid because we obviously heard it in Ireland, not by Metallica, but at like a little bar.
Yeah, that was really cool to hear too. So that's how I knew the song. That's why I wanted to hear that. But again, it's like, I don't think he's going to play that song. So I ended up getting two tickets for the first night. And we talked about that already. So as we said, this was at the Salt Shed. And we have said in the past or recently that if we go to a venue and we've been there before, we'll talk about the first time, but not the second or third time we go to the venue, like on the podcast for a little bit. However, this is slightly different because every time we go to the Salt Shed, it feels like something new or different is around about the Salt Shed.
Yeah, they're still building it up, or that area up, so there's different things.
Which this time, the new addition for me was the arcade.
Yeah.
They have a full-blown arcade with like shoot-'em-up games. They have a bunch of pinball machines, which they had the new Metallica one.
They did.
Played that. Some like throw the ball and knock down the dummy little things and whatnot.
Like carnival type games.
Yeah, carnival type games to get tickets, and then you can go to an actual prize wall and trade your tickets in. The one shitty thing is the tickets are digitized on your card, so you don't actually print out a bunch of tickets to hand over. Like, that was kind of lame, but really cool little prizes as well. They have like the Super 7, G.I. Joe action figures, a lot of really cool shit.
You said prize wall, but it's a prize room.
It is a prize room. There's a lot of fucking prizes.
Yeah.
So when we go back, I guess I'm going to spend a lot more time in the arcade, show up early, which is also kind of weird because I think the doors for this were at 6:30.
Yeah.
Show was at 8. So
show was supposed to start at 8. We'll get into that.
Sure. I mean, that's something kind of, I don't know, whatever. You can nitpick about that if you want.
I hate late people.
I think that's so stupid. Whatever. We'll talk about that here in a second. But I was like, that's a long ass time. They want you in the complex. So it is a huge complex with food options, with drink options. There's a record store in there. There's like a clothing store.
Yeah. I think that is part of it, is they want you to walk around. They don't want you just to stand in the venue. They want you to go to all that stuff and, purchase things and stuff.
And now the arcade as well. The one thing is this time the outside restaurants weren't open.
No.
Which is kind of shitty.
But again, it's April, so it could be a really shitty day in April, which we've had many of, or it could be a very beautiful day like it was on Monday.
And I think if you had left sort of the main area, you could always get back in. You just have to go through security.
Yeah.
So like Goose Island has like a sort of an exterior entrance, but you have to leave the complex, which is attached to, we've talked about this the last time. It's a really weird setup. There really should be a door that gets, or even a selling window that they could sell through.
Yeah.
But I also get why they don't. They don't want Goose Island to take the beer revenue. They want the alcohol revenue for themselves. Any hoodles, that was kind of cool. I did enjoy the new edition of the arcade.
Yeah, it was nice. And I would be like, and they were playing the music in there.
Yes.
We didn't go during the concert in there, but the venue music that was playing all night waiting for the concert to start was playing in there. So I'm assuming they put the music in there as well.
I would assume so too. I would hope so for sure. They do it outside in like the little courtyard area, not upstairs in that smoking pit, but on the second floor, but definitely outside.
Yeah, which is weird that they don't do it in the smoking area.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't this time. I can't remember if they've done it in the past or not.
I don't think so, because during Bad Omens, we stood out there for a lot, and you really couldn't hear it except for the door was open.
Right, that's right.
That was the only way you could hear it, was the door was open, I think.
Did we go out there another time and they had a stadium style seating, like a
They did, because
bleachers?
It was supposed to be the VIP section for
because it was supposed to be outside and it got moved
Poison
inside.
the Well, right?
No, Dillinger.
Dillinger, yeah. Sorry.
That's right. That's why they had those up there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that they had the comfy couches, they had everything out there because it was supposed to be like the VIP section.
This time they just had the comfy couches, but no bleachers type seating.
I didn't even go outside this time, or out there this time. So
I did a little bit at the end of the show, and that's where I looked down. There were nobody sitting down at those benches, and that's like, oh, we can go out and sit. But you did bring up the point with like the house music in the arcade, which is a unique thing I think for this show that I don't think I've experienced at too many other shows. But the house music when we go to like the House of Blues or something is either whatever the fuck they put on, really.
yeah, and I wonder who makes that decision because sometimes it's rap, sometimes it's like 90s pop.
We went to Palisades
songs.
Swiss and it was like techno, EDM.
Yeah.
And I wonder if like sometimes it's the band who says, hey, I want this song to like start. I know there's clearly like the opening track.
Right,
like,
right. But this is just the house music when you're waiting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there wasn't sort of that poppy, rappy or anything. It was just sort of music, but like no lyrics, no nothing. It was just sort of like soothing. It was really kind of sort of setting the tone. And I do feel like that was part of Nick Cave, the performance aspect, right? Like we want this type of music to be played. They probably picked out what song they wanted.
Maybe.
As sort of like it, but it did feel like it definitely set the tone for the night and the vibe for the night for sure, for me, and at least.
Okay. I don't know Nick Cave music, so to me it was just
no, but yeah. But I mean, I guess
sound.
what I'm saying is like it definitely gave a different tone and vibe to the time, just trying to kill time versus having like NSYNC play, or something like that, or something that's or rap, something that's not the style of music you're there to see at all.
Yeah.
But this kind of fit the vibe from what I knew with Red Right Hand and Lover Man for sure.
I see. Okay. I guess in my opinion, it was just kind of background noise and not where other venues when music's playing, like people sing along or they'll dance or whatever. And this was just kind of like background noise and not necessarily like music to set the, I didn't take it as setting the tone or anything. This is me personally, not saying you're wrong, but I just didn't feel that. I just felt like it was background noise that was just playing. So
okay, for sure.
Kind of like if you were at like an amusement park waiting to get on like an internal dark ride or something.
Sure, but that also sets the tone for what you're about to do.
Yeah.
So like I did feel like this was intentional for like
it could have been very intentional. I'm saying I did not feel like it did anything to me except for just have background noise.
Okay. All right. But I guess then we get into the set. Well, I guess it was pretty packed in there. Like I said, it was sold out.
Yeah.
You had a bum foot.
Yes.
You've had one for a while, and I've been to shows where my foot hurt and it sucks. Like I have gout and I have like flares up every now and then. It fucking sucks. So I know the pain you're going through.
Breaking it in high school and not letting it heal right, and every once in a while it just hurts.
So you say. It could be gout too or something. I don't know.
I don't think it's gout. My foot doesn't get like yours does when it's gout.
Puff up?
No.
But we were on the floor initially. We got there not late, but we got there 7:40ish.
Yeah, probably.
About 20 minutes before the show started.
7:30,
went to the arcade, played there real quick, and then went into the venue. Pretty packed. We did find a spot on the floor toward the back. We were going to hang out in the back anyway because it's not like a crowd we need to be in. And then I went upstairs to get a beer, mainly because all the beer lines for the 2 beer line or 3 beer, whatever. All the beer lines I went to were super fucking long. And I was like, there's one upstairs. I bet nobody's upstairs at that beer line. Went up there and there were like 3 people in front of me at the beer line.
Yeah.
Like, fuck
Nobody goes up there. Yeah.
And then I checked out that they have like this little high top seating area on one side and more loungy side seats on the other side. The loungy seats don't have a great view of the stage or anything.
No.
Neither do the high tops, but they do have a TV up there live streaming.
Yeah.
So when I was up there getting my beer, I noticed that nobody was at these tables. Come back downstairs, tell you like, hey, there's room up there if you want to go sit and just listen to the music.
Yeah. Well, because at first you were like, do you want to go upstairs? And I was like, well, no, I don't want to walk the stairs if there's no seats.
Yeah.
So.
Which when we walked by, the elevator was out of order.
Yeah.
When I came down later in the night to go on the ground and watch the show a little bit, it was fixed.
Oh, okay.
Somebody came off the elevator and I kind of laughed to myself like, oh, I guess it's not out of order. But yeah, then we ended up going up there and that's where we sat. Well, you sat most of the night.
Yeah. And I just watched the TV, which was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I never saw the stage. I never got up and like looked at the stage or whatever. But yeah, I just watched the TV and it was fine.
Yeah. So let's get into the set then a little bit. Why don't you read off the set list for us?
So they start with Frogs, Wild God, Song of the Lake, Oh Children, Jubilee Street, From Her to Eternity, Long Dark Night, Cinnamon Horses, Tupelo, Conversation, Bright Horses, Joy, I Need You, Carnage, Final Rescue Attempt, Red Right Hand, The Mercy Seat, White Elephant, and that was the end of the normal set. Then there was an encore of Papa Won't Leave You, Henry, The Weeping Song, Skeleton Tree, and then finally ended with Into My Arms. Sorry, I didn't mean finally ended. I just mean the end of the set.
The end of the set. Which, I mean, it was 22 tracks.
It was, yeah.
So for just a single performance, no opener, not bad, really.
No, yeah.
I was kind of half expecting sort of there to be like an intermission, like maybe do 13 to 14 and then come back and do another 13 to 14.
You did keep saying that, like, I wonder when the intermission's going to be. And then finally I looked up the set and I was like, there is no intermission.
Yeah. And I just say that because, like, I've been to other shows where they do have just a single performer and there typically is that sort of intermission.
Yeah.
So the know before you go email that we got that everybody seems to do does tell you, like, you know, doors are this time, sets this time. It does say Nick Cave will start promptly at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
And I don't think you knew that, or maybe you did.
No, you did. You read it to me.
But even if you didn't, you still would have been pissed that it...
Well, if I didn't know that the show started at 8, then it wouldn't bother me.
When did it start? Like 8:15 or so?
8:15, yes.
That's not bad. Like, whatever.
But
like,
it's annoying to me. Then say the show's going to start at 8:15. Don't say it's going to start at 8 o'clock.
you don't know when it's going to start. Like, it's...
You do know. There's a set time. There's a schedule for the night.
You don't know what happens
knows.
behind the scenes. You don't know if something technical went wrong and we had to fix that real quick, so everything's now off by 15 minutes or something like that.
We had a whole episode about how we were pissed at set times at Decibel getting off, and now...
Yeah, but we were also sort of both sick and hurt. Like, you were sick and my foot
sick.
hurt. So I was like, let's get this fucking going. Let's
end this.
So I think it was a combination of those things happening.
Yeah.
I do give it some leeway, especially for just a single night type thing. Whatever. I'm fine with a single night, but if it's like a festival type thing, that's when I'm like, all right, who's getting cut? What sets are going to get cut type thing.
I see.
Happened at Knotfest, Iowa, where they had to cut sets and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
And they did announce that. I didn't hear the announcement because I was on the other stage, but they did announce, like, hey, we have to cut this will be short and blah, 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 so we have time to beat the weather. Didn't beat the weather, but whatever.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me. It was a little frustrating that you got so upset.
I wasn't upset about it. I'm just like, oh my God. Like,
I guess it's just a little upsetting now that you're so upset about it.
It just drives me nuts. I mean, luckily it was only 15 minutes and it wasn't like 30 minutes or an hour or something. But sometimes, like, I don't know what happened. Maybe they did have a technical issue or some shit like that they needed to take care of. But also in my mind, I feel like sometimes performers are like, whatever, they're going to wait for me. So it doesn't really matter. Not saying Nick Cave is that way, or the band is that way, or the people that were performing were that way, but there's been other concerts that the performer does that, and then it's like, it's kind of like a I'm holier than thou kind of thing.
I mean, I do agree with those performers, and you can think of like Axl Rose, for instance, way back in the early 90s and 80s, right? Like, that was his persona of like, I'll just go on whenever. I'll show up 3 hours late. Kanye West has done that, where he's like
Justin Bieber's done it.
4 hours late to a show or something. So those artists are like, fuck you, you piece of shit. Like, no, this is bullshit. So I hate those types of delays. 15 minutes for whatever, like, that's nothing to me. I don't know. Maybe it's common, maybe it's not. To me, the artists that have that reputation.
Reputation.
Yeah, that's the word. Again, I don't know much about Nick Cave. I just knew I wanted to go see those two songs. So, fuck it. I know I like those two songs. Let's go check out the rest of the music and set.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't like...
Explore something new.
And it didn't dampen my night. It's just, I don't like late people. Like, if you're going to say a meeting's going to start at this time, or you're going to say blah, 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 like...
You are pretty prompt, and that is very frustrating.
Well...
Because you're like, we need to go. We're going to be late. It's like, we'll be like 5 minutes late. That's not late. It's fine. But you are pretty prompt. I will give you that. Pretty consistent there, I guess.
What's that saying? Like,
if you're
not early, you're late.
If you're late, or if you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That's so fucking stupid. Whatever. Anywho, getting into the music and the set. Again, not knowing any of the songs going into it, I liked it. It was fun. It was a good time. I really enjoyed the music. I didn't necessarily like sitting up where we were sitting. It wasn't bad because you could hear the music. It was a little meh. It wasn't the greatest sound by any means up in that corner.
I thought we could.
Especially early in the night, it did just kind of feel, not echoey, just sort of, I don't know, not quite right.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it had that same feeling on the ground. I don't remember. We weren't there. So it did feel off a little bit, but it got better as the night went on. So maybe it was just, sound guys tweaking things and whatnot.
Yeah.
The frustrating thing for me was definitely the live stream, watching that TV, because it would just be a static angle of one thing on the stage, nothing's going on, or you'd see a couple of things, like a couple people playing instruments, but Nick Cave would be over here, singing over here, and you wouldn't like get a good view of him. And then it would cut over to him, but the transition would be like this cube changing.
Like a 1998 PowerPoint.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let's try this transition. Let's do this weird ass transition.
Yeah.
And it did it like all the time. And it was very frustrating. Like, just pick a single transition or just do a hard cut to that other one. Like, I don't need this sort of cube look of there goes that view into the next one. Like, that was a little frustrating for me.
This was like a little different for us to watch a live concert at the venue on a TV.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really done that before. I mean, except for House of Blues we have.
Well, and Tinley Park.
That's
basically what you're doing if you're on the lawn.
That's true.
You're watching those giant TVs.
Yeah.
But those ones I don't think do that transition. It's probably the hard cut.
Or they have the better, because we talked about it after the show too, where we're like, well, Metallica does this, or like a lot of bands do this where they like project on, but it's not the static angle camera. It's like people running the cameras, or like the cameras are moving.
The good shows they actually have real cameramen. This felt like they don't have real cameramen. They just have cameras set up. And this will always film this angle. Yeah,
there was a lot of times that I did notice where the shot would be like that angle, like there was like an angle where it was like coming in from like stage left or stage right onto the stage.
It was up above stage right looking down onto the stage, and a little bit of the crowd as well.
And the crowd, so you could see the crowd, but half the time there was absolutely no band members. Sometimes like a guitarist he was a violinist, I think, all the way on stage left. But other than that, like, nobody was in the shot.
There was somebody, like a bassist or something, right at the bottom of the screen, but you might have only seen, like, the head or something.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that.
You didn't really get a great glimpse or great view of them. That was a weird angle, for sure. But also, like, Reggie's does the same thing, where they just have the static cameras for their live stream.
For, like, Twitch.
But still, I thought that production was better than this. Yeah. Because they didn't do those weird-ass transitions. They just did sort of the hard cuts.
Yeah.
So I think that if you did away with that gimmicky sort of shitty ass transition, I think that would have been better.
And maybe hire somebody to like watch the stage where people are and transition. I think we talked about it and it seemed like it was just on a timer where it would just transition to different cameras at different points, and like it didn't really matter where the performers were. It would just like transition a little bit.
Which if you're going to live stream this, not bad, right? I would tune into Twitch or something to do this. I'd pay $5-10 to watch a show at the Salt Shed do this sort of thing, right? Yeah. But at the same time, I still think it would have been better without those weird transitions. Just fucking do a hard cut and call it good.
Yeah, I would agree.
So that was a little weird. I did go stand up. So if you're up on that second floor balcony, you can sort of go stand close to the stairs going down sort of the grandstand. Yeah. And you can see the stage pretty well from there. So I thought that was kind of cool. The stage setup, let's talk about that a little bit. It's pretty generic. There was sort of a screen behind that would rotate images and words and whatnot and colors and whatnot. You had your backup singers sitting up there just below that. A piano that Nick Cave would go to and play and then go back and whatnot. There was sort of a catwalk thing out a little bit into basically a capital T. So you have your stage, like a normal straight stage. You have your catwalk in the middle and then another straight stage right there. With no rail, people just hanging on that.
That was like the first thing I noticed when the concert started. I think we don't talk during concerts, but like I just typed on my phone like, there's no rail. They're right up to the stage. Yeah. Which the concerts we normally go to, there's a rail.
There's definitely a rail. Yeah. Yes. The first song I remember vividly is definitely "Oh Children," because you were not making fun of a guy, but there was definitely a guy.
Oh no, I wasn't making fun of him.
Oh.
I wasn't. So I was trying to get your attention because he looked exactly like Coach Beard from Ted Lasso. Okay. So I was making the joke that where Coach Beard's here. Like, he looked just like him. Like, perfect. What I was making fun of was the performance and the sound of the song, because it sounded like gospel music or worship music. And so I was like praising as we were listening to it. That's what I was making fun of.
I got you. So I saw you doing like this and going, oh, children. And then I looked over at the Coach Beard guy who was also
I didn't know he was
doing that. I was like,
no.
You can make fun of this dude right in front of him? What the fuck? Come on.
No, I was making fun of the music because I was like, I feel like I'm at church.
You did say that. And I got that vibe, especially with the backup singers.
We were having two typed out message conversations
yes.
at the same time.
I mean, I kind of got that vibe a little bit with his appearance of just in the black suit, and black tie. Sort of a Sunday best sort of dress, like especially for like an older man. I could see an older man dressing like that, right? And also the choir sort of singing.
Yeah, maybe that was it.
And like the long white robes and whatnot and just singing as well. So I got that vibe a little bit, but as the night went on, I got less and less sort of the gospel sort of vibe to it.
Church vibe?
I don't know. I haven't really been to church in a very ass long time, and I've never listened to gospel music. That shit's fucking horrible.
I told you in third grade, I was like the biggest fan of Palomino State Quartet.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
It is. Like, I can't believe it.
I don't try to shit on other people's music. You like the thing you like. That is kind of shit fucking music.
It's
that brainwashy
quartet
bullfuck
music
shit
is the worst.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, quartet and like
gospel quartets.
Yeah. All right. Not like classical quartets and whatnot.
But Mark talking about the donkey, that's funny.
Mark talking about the donkey.
I played it for you once. The donkey going for the water, and he wanted something besides water. He wanted ice cream.
I kind of remember it.
I played it for you, and I was cracking up laughing, and you're just like, this is stupid.
I kind of remember that, and as you described it, it's still fucking stupid.
That was like my childhood, that we would sit at my grandparents' house watching that, and it's with the Gaithers. And
all right, whatever.
It's
Moving
so
on.
Funny. It's so funny.
Moving on to this show. There was a point not too long. I knew your foot hurt, and I was like, I kind of want to go down and I want to see the performance, right? I'm not getting that up here, which again, I was completely fine with, right? So I go downstairs and it got a lot more packed down in there. Like I really couldn't move. Like there were people definitely pushing forward. They'd go back to get beers, go to the restroom, they'd come back and work their way up. I could have if I wanted to, but again, I don't like doing that even at like a metal show. Yeah. So I'm not going to fucking do it here either. Found a spot all the way in the back and hung out there for a little bit. There were a couple people in between songs chatting amongst themselves. And then as the music started, they kind of stopped and then quietly chatted, like very, very quietly amongst themselves. Other than that, though, there didn't seem to be a whole lot of chatter going on in the crowd. It seemed like a pretty quiet crowd in terms of the side conversations, which going into this, I did not expect at all. I truly expected everybody to be talking nonstop the entire fucking time. Because I was equating this to be like, this is going to be a similar show to the Lumineers that we went to. And the motherfuckers in that show just ran their mouths the entire fucking time. Worse than any metal show we've ever been to.
Worse than
like
horrible.
Any show we've ever been to. So I was like, it's going to be like this. It's going to be fucking just...
And we were in seats, so it's not like we could move.
At the Lumineers show.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just going to be like, a bunch of old motherfuckers who just run their mouths all the time. Like, they don't know how to fucking be at a show anymore. Like, somehow they lost how to do that. Apparently, it's the younger generation. I don't know. I've seen it with both age
I've seen
groups.
it with both, yeah. We've been to metal shows and the old guys talking. I don't remember what show that was, but, like, the old guys were just...
Yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. It used to be cell phones. I don't give two fucks about cell phones anymore. I'd rather watch the show through somebody's cell phone than listen to somebody chat during the fucking performance. I fucking hate that so much. So going into the show, I expected there to be a lot of fucking side chat and whatnot. Yeah. There wasn't. The crowd was fucking phenomenal.
Even in that little bar area where I was sitting, like nobody was talking, which was surprising because we went to Bad Omens there and everybody was fucking talking.
Yeah, I got a little drunk that night and yelled at a kid because he was chatting. Yeah. And then we left promptly after that.
Yeah, I was like, we're leaving because you screamed shut the fuck up to somebody.
Fucking children.
Yeah.
I was not happy. The music sucked. And people were chatting, which didn't help the music at all. It wasn't fun. No. Yeah. Anywho, This crowd, I was blown away. I was not expecting
this. That was
this.
surprising. And when we walked in, I made a comment. I'm like, oh my gosh, all the people talking. And I think you thought I meant, oh, everybody's going to be talking all night. But what I meant is like with everybody talking and there's nothing going on, like it was just so echoey and it was just so loud. And I don't like chatter noises anyways. And it's kind of overwhelming for me.
Yeah, that's another thing we need to work on. Figure that aspect out.
At least I know it's out in the world and not inside my head.
You do know that. Just now you need to control it and tune that stuff out and focus on one other thing, or just focus on one thing, I guess. I don't know, your own thoughts or something.
No.
No, I did pick up on that too as we walked into the main floor after the arcade. It was very...
Yeah, it's just that chatter noise that you
can't
hear.
Pick up a single conversation, but you hear all of it as one. It's kind of... I kind of like that sound. It's kind of... It's like white noise. It's like the static of a TV almost.
I guess it is almost white noisy.
I
equate it to like bugs making noises where it's just like a whole
That's another great noise right there in the summertime when you hear like the cicadas doing
that's like one noise. I'm talking about like when all of the noises.
All the bugs making all their noises.
Every bug makes a noise.
But yeah, like I said, I was completely blown away by that, especially going down on the ground and seeing that. So I watched a couple tracks down there. There was a point where I was like just looking around as well, and I look up on this metal beam that's there, and there's a little tiny dick stuck to this metal beam that I took, and we'll maybe throw a photo of that. Just
Do you still have it?
I still have it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Like just a little 3D printed dick with a little magnet in it, so it can like stick to magnetic things. I brought it up and showed you when I came back upstairs, and then we stuck it on a pole behind us. Cared. At like head level, and so many people walked by it, and I was like, fuck it, if nobody wants this, I'll take it home. So yeah, I still have that little green dick just hanging around. Sat up there for a little bit, and I think this is about the time I asked you, like, check out to see if there is an intermission. So I thought was, I'll go get a beer at the intermission.
Oh, okay.
And you're like, they don't have an intermission. It's like, fuck, I guess I'm going to go get a beer now. And by this time, I think the line at the bar at the top was... No, it wasn't busy. I don't know.
It wasn't. There was like 3 people.
I don't know. Yeah. I got a beer up there maybe. I can't remember where I got a beer.
You got a beer there and got me a Pepsi.
Yeah, that's right. I did. But when you were doing that, you kind of put the phone down. You're like, you're going to be disappointed. And I was like, they're not playing Loverman. I kind of know that. And you're like, they're not playing any of them. Yeah. So I was like, fuck. God damn it. Well, no intermission. I'm going to get a beer now. And then fuck this bullshit. I want to hear Red Right Hand. Not really. I was really, really digging the music. I really enjoyed the music. It was a lot of fun. And... went, got the beer, got you your soda, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to go outside. I want to see if the music, I want to see what the skyline looks like, because it's a great
really cool view
of Chicago at that roof deck area. It's a beautiful night. Let's see if I can go hear the music out there. That's when I went out, stood on the top, and I was like, oh, beautiful night still, great skyline, but no music up here. So I went and stood over the edge of the railing and looked down at the little patio thing where all those... restaurants and whatnots are open typically, but not tonight, and by the river, and you could hear the music down there. So I came back inside, told you, like, hey, let's go outside. There's no point. Like, we can't really see the show from here. All we're doing is listening. Let's go out there and listen to the music outside at this beautiful night. So that's what we did. We went out there. We hung out there for a little bit, sat down, chatted for a little bit. We could talk a little bit more. And I felt more... I'm fine with people chatting out there because you're out here, outside, not at the show. The music now is background noise. So go ahead and chat. And there were people chatting, but
that's how I see it too. And same with like at a show, like if you step out to the lobby and you're talking, cool.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Like you're not in the venue or inside, like by the stage. Just shut the fuck up if you're inside.
And sometimes even the bars in the back, like if you go all the way to the back to the bar area. I'm fine with it there. It's a little more annoying. I would keep it like that House of Blues show. Those people are being annoying. It's like keep it at a level where I would definitely try to keep it down. But if you're on the ground, like 10 feet from the stage, and you're running your mouth, that's where it's like, let's fucking.
Yeah, I've actually seen more stuff like of videos of artists getting pissed at crowds now.
Good. Yeah, I'm fucking done with it.
You guys won't shut up. Like you guys are just talking. Like
stop. I wonder if they can hear it. Like,
I'm sure they can.
A part of me thinks they can.
I think they can.
It's got to be distracting if they can.
So I don't remember what show it was at, but I know it was at House of Blues. And I think House of Blues has, and maybe this isn't for every show, but I think they have microphones set up where it like pointing to the crowd.
Okay.
So that the artist can hear what the crowd's doing.
Oh, okay.
Because I remember somebody saying like basically like there's somebody screaming into the microphone from the crowd. Like,
Oh, I don't remember that.
yeah, you don't
Okay.
remember
No,
that?
no.
I feel like it was a House of Blues show. I don't know how that all works, but I remember that part.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it's great. I've always hoped that bands would hear it and be like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I think that's what it needs to be, is a band to be like, fucking stop this. Nick Cave, I think the first show for this tour, like, went off on the crowd for their cell phone usage.
Oh.
And not necessarily went off, but he's like, all right, let's go ahead. Let's get our photos. Let's get our videos done here real quick. I will stand up here and I'll pose for you for 45 seconds. And he went and through, like, did a bunch of different funny poses and whatnot and let people take photos. And he's like, good. Is it out of your system now? Great. Now let's put the phones away and enjoy the show.
Just not Disturbed. Green Day did that. Do you remember
did they?
at Wrigley?
Not really. A little bit now, yeah.
I mean, he basically what's his name?
Billy Joel Armstrong?
Yes, that guy. Billy Joel. Billy Joe.
Billy Joel, yeah.
Not Billy Joel.
Yeah,
That's the
Billy
televangelist. But yeah, so he did the same thing in 2021. It was the first concert that we went to after COVID. And he said the same thing. He was like, we've been on our screens for 18 fucking months or 2 years, basically. Like, put them away.
Yep.
Enjoy the music. You're at a live show.
Yep. Be in the moment type thing.
Yeah. And that's where my mindset, because before COVID, I was a recorder. I watch those videos all the time. I know people say like, who are you, like, when are you ever going to watch these? All the videos I took of Avatar, I still watch those to this day. Like, I watch them all the time. But that's where my mindset changed with recording whole songs or, having my phone up all the time or whatever. I'm like, true. Like, I'm going to see these bands, well, hopefully see these bands again. So why not just be in the moment?
Yeah, and we had a friend of ours who his daughter went to a bunch of shows and she did the same thing. She would film the entire fucking thing. And I made that same argument to him. Like, she's never going to fucking watch that. The audio quality is going to be fucking shit. Like, that's what I really hate. That's why I don't like people who do that. And his response was, she watches it all the time. And the audio really isn't that bad, but even if it is bad, she doesn't give two shits. She's watching it nonstop all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, all right, whatever. So that little conversation changed my mind a little bit. Doing this podcast now, we also do photos and photos.
Photos and videos.
Yeah, there we go. Photos and photos.
Yeah.
And we try to keep discreet. We try to keep it minimum. But when we do like a vlog, I do a lot more video during the vlog. Again, try to keep it at like 10 to 30 seconds at most. But I can see why that'd be distracting or upsetting. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not sitting there chatting the entire fucking time.
Yeah.
So that's like, I don't care that much. I do turn the light way down as well.
Me too. Yeah.
No flash, no anything like that.
Yeah.
So
we're like justifying why it's okay for us to use cell phones.
all I'm trying to say is like my mindset of cell phone usage has changed.
Yeah. And
the people who, especially the artists who are like, fuck cell phone usage, and the people who are strongly opposed to cell phone usage, my argument is, so what? Like, just let it go. It's fine. Let them do their thing. Let them enjoy their time. This is how they want to enjoy it. I get your argument. I do, and I'm on your side. To me, that's not the biggest issue. The issue is the fucking chatter. Yeah. So, anywho, I don't know where this was going off on.
I think you mentioned that he made a comment.
Yeah, and there was something before that, but I can't remember.
Okay.
Anyhoodles, we were outside talking. Maybe that's where it all started. We were outside.
Maybe.
And we're sitting there just talking, hanging out, enjoying the music, enjoying the night, enjoying the company. Like, it was a great experience, right? And then all of a sudden, the dong for Red Right Hand. I'm like, what the fuck? You said they weren't playing this. And I was kind of worried that they wouldn't let me back in.
Yeah, because when we left, the lady was like, have a good night.
And the other thing is maybe it's because it's close to the end of the night and she knows it's close to the end of the night. So people who were leaving are probably leaving for good.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I rushed right back in. I was able to get in. Sweet. Awesome. Went, stood on the ground, listened to Red Right Hand, the one of the two songs I really, really wanted to hear, and got to hear it. And I'm like, all right, I'm done. This is great. This is perfect. Went outside, maybe listened like 1 to 2 more songs.
Yeah, it was a little while before you came out.
And then we bounced. We decided to leave for the evening. So not all of it.
We probably only had like 2 songs left, honestly.
Maybe the encore. Maybe all of the encore.
Oh, you think it was all the encore?
I don't know. I didn't realize the encore was 4 songs long. So, I don't know. We weren't the only ones leaving. There were a lot of people leaving around this time as well.
And we knew we were going to take an Uber home. So part of my mindset was we need to order our Uber before
Surge pricing
starts. Or otherwise, we would need to hang out for 30 minutes and then order our Uber.
Yeah.
So.
I did put all these songs on our set list, our playlist. Whatever. Like, it wasn't bad music.
It wasn't bad music. No. And this would be something that I would listen to again. I probably wouldn't go see it again.
Okay.
Maybe at like a festival or something, but not a full set again. I definitely wouldn't have done 2 nights. It's just not music I'm into. But I treated it more as I was there with you, and I treated it kind of like a bar type situation where it's like you're just sitting and listening to music play. Not like I need to be in the crowd. There was no, this music's not like, there's no pits. I was kind of surprised that there was no crowd surfing, but maybe it's just the age of the crowd.
Why would there be crowd surfing?
I don't know. You got like melodic music going on.
Definitely no crowd surfing for this at all.
I don't know.
No. I think it would have been cool to get one of those VIP table things on the side.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a cool spot, like where you can just lounge back and relax on like a couch type thing. I think that'd be a really cool setting for this show for sure. I'm like you. I did so we're almost, it's April 30th, so we're 4 months into the year basically done, and we haven't necessarily seen a lot of shows. We've seen more shows at this point than we have last year, and
have we really?
Yeah, just by like 2 or 3.
Oh, okay. I feel like we've had a slow year, so.
So did I. So have I. But if you ask me what my favorite show of the year has been, I probably would tell you the Whitechapel show.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably my favorite show so far.
Too. Yeah.
This is probably my second favorite. I had so much fun at this show. And because I think the same thing that you did, I went into this with very low expectations of the crowd, which were far exceeded. Like right away, like, holy fuck, they're not talking at all. This is fucking awesome. And the music wasn't anything that I knew about. Like, I knew I was going like, whatever, it's going to be music, it'll be fun. But yeah, just being there with you and just hanging out, like we were not texting, but like...
Yeah, we like type out messages, but...
And read that, and it's not like constant, but like every now and then you do something and make me laugh. I'd write something and make you laugh type thing. So it's
we joked about Lamb of God.
Yeah.
With red right hand, like...
Yeah.
Hands are painted red.
Yeah, so like just hanging out, listening to music, and just like... relaxing, like
that's true.
Mind completely not on anything else, just sort of in the moment.
Yeah.
No expectations of what to expect or what the show should be. We've been to so many metal shows now where it's like, all right, I know this is going to happen. I know this type of thing's going to happen. There's going to be a wall of death at some point. There's going to be...
Yeah, that's true.
The show's going to be oversold. I'm going to be cramped over here and like not comfortable. Or I'm going to be over here and I'm not going to be able to see the stage and the audio's going to be shit. This was like, fuck it. I don't give a shit if I don't see the stage. I don't give a shit if I hear great audio. I'm here experiencing the moment and the music, and I'm here with you type thing. Yeah,
it's almost like when we went to see Pop Evil. I guess I had almost the same feeling, except for Pop Evil, I know songs.
Yeah.
I guess I did not know any of the songs.
But you didn't know songs going into it. It wasn't until you started playing it that you're like, holy shit, I forgot about that song.
Yeah, like that's, yeah. It's not like I listened to Pop Evil. I don't think I've listened to Pop Evil since that show.
I definitely have.
But, if we would listen to the playlist, I listened to it. But yeah, like I guess I kind of had the same thought where it's just like, just hanging out, listening to live music.
Yeah.
I don't really want to spend $80 all the time to do that. But
maybe not. But all in all, it was a great fucking night at live music. Different kind of music than we normally do, but it's still live music. We're still out with the crowd, and it was a fucking phenomenal night. So go experience live music.
Bye.